Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, March 9, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Government to train 500 women to operate heavy-duty machinery for extractive sectors. Talk to your children, break the silence. Ali urges collective effort in tackling domestic violence. Venezuelans nabbed after piracy attack on Guyanese fishermen. Chicago-based travel agency seeking to expand services to Guyana, and Guatemalan delegation to visit Guyana as countries aim for AGRI collaboration. Now for the news in detail. Recognizing the low representation of women in the extractive sectors, President Dr Irfaan Ali has announced plans his government has to train hundreds of women to operate heavy-duty machinery, particularly for the country's energy and mining industries. The head of state was at the time delivering remarks at an event held at State House in celebration of Women on International Women's Day. Here's more.
In the oil and gas sector, for example, in mining, we don't see much women participation. I've asked some of the largest companies to help me with a program to train 500 female operators to operate the heavy machines for mining and in oil and gas sector. The average salary for an operator is about $350,000 Guyana dollars. The government is going to invest in ensuring that you are certified. And we're going to partner with the private sector so you move smoothly from certification to employment. These are the commitments that we are making, that I am making to you, that we're going to invest in to make your lives easier.
President Dr Irfaan Ali also shared statistics which show Guyanese females playing leading roles in various sectors and programs. According to the Guyanese head of state, no other country in the region can come close to these figures. Let's have a look.
The numbers I'm giving you tonight, no other country in this region can come close to these numbers we have here in Guyana. And you, the women of Guyana, are the owners of these numbers. And you should be very, very proud. On the Gold Scholarship Program, 72.6% of those students studying on the Gold are women. Women from every single region of this country. In our public service scholarships, in the total scholarships given by the Public Service Ministry, 57% went to women. 57% of the total scholarship from the Public Service Ministry went to women. In the public sector training, 69% of all those who are trained in the public service are women. Put your hands together. This is your numbers. You work for this. At the University of Guyana, 70% of the total student population are women, females, 70% of the total student population. But guess what? Much more important than that, the withdrawal rate at the University of Guyana among female is among the lowest in this region at 0.4%. What that tells you is that not only are women enrolled, women have the staying power, they have the fighting power, they have the sacrifice power, and they have the ability to finish what they start. 60% of our doctors, 60% of the people who keep us healthy, 60% of the doctors in this country are women. 98% of all the nurses are women. In housing, female-only led application and allocation constitutes 46%. And joint application, that is where a male and female are involved, is 17%. The total housing program that goes to women, where a woman is involved, is 64%. You don't see this anywhere else. 65% of our total core homes allocation, that is the core homes, the homes that we give out, 65% went to women, mostly single women. 85% of the persons who benefited from home improvement subsidy were women. 85% of those who benefited from home improvement subsidy were women. But guess what? It does not just fall into the hands of women. They work for it. Because when you look at the housing program, 79% of all the consultation were attended by women. 79% of all the consultation. That means that women are participating in the process to change their lives and uplift their lives. Women are participating in the development process. Women are participating in the transformation process in our country. And on behalf of all the men of Guyana, I give you a resounding round of applause. Clap so they can hear you wherever they are. 22% of our total law enforcement personnel constitute the female population, women, 22%. Put your hands together for all the women who are working hard to protect us day and night. In the judiciary, 60% of those who administer justice in our country are women, female. Put your hands together for them.
President Dr. Irfaan Ali also took aim at the scourge of domestic violence which plagues women all across the country. In a very impassioned message, the Guyanese leader called on every citizen to check themselves and ensure they are not a part of the problem that contributes to the wanton disregard for women's rights and lives. Here's what he had to say.
How many of us would witness violence against women and stay quiet? How many of us would see it in our families? Would see it in our communities? How many mothers will cover for their sons? How many wives will cover for their husband? How many? It is always one too many. So the root cause is our silence. The root cause is our collective guilt. All of us, our collective guilt not to stand strong and definitively against violence against women. If we do that, we can get rid of this monster and devil from the society. We must leave no space for this evil threat to grow. We must collectively decide as individuals, as families, as community, we will fight it. There is absolutely no excuse for raising a finger against women. How many times we see these cases going before the court and then someone say, oh, we don't want to pursue it anymore. How many times we see persons killed in the community and those will come up in the newspaper and say, oh, they always used to quarrel and fight. Oh, they always had problems. Oh, they always saw someone running someone with a wood or something. But they stayed quiet. We have the power, and I want us to use this day, today, to change our thinking. And that is one of the goals of Men on Mission, to get to these communities, to uproot these little seeds. Sometimes we look to the police, to the court, to the lawyers to solve these problems. But we have to contribute to this. Sit and talk to your children. Let them understand that this is not part of humanity and human behavior. We all must be part of the solution.
We now tell you that the ranks of the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard have arrested 3 armed Venezuelan nationals suspected to be pirates. The arrest was made on Tuesday after the authorities were alerted to an alleged piracy attack at Waini Point, Northwest District. On the day in question, 2 Guyanese fishermen who were asleep on a vessel which was moored at Waini Point alleged that they were awakened by 3 suspects, 2 pointing long guns at them. The victims told investigators that the alleged pirates spoke to them in a foreign language, believed to be Spanish. The suspects ordered them off the fiberglass boat, powered by 2 Yamaha outboard engines. The suspects then took control of the fishing boat and its contents and fled toward the Venezuelan border. The 2 victims, a 24-year-old and a teenager, managed to alert another nearby fishing vessel, which assisted them. They immediately contacted their boss, a 36-year-old businessman. The matter was subsequently reported to the police at a Morowana police station. As a result, police and Coast Guard ranks swiftly proceeded to an area called Crab Dog, where they attempted to intercept the stolen boat with suspects inside. Upon seeing the police, however, the men jumped overboard but were eventually apprehended. The boat was searched and 2 single-barrel shotguns, 1 live 5.56 round of ammunition, 2 arrows, and 1 bow were found hidden in the boat. The suspects are presently in custody, assisting with the ongoing investigation. Tasia Dickinson joins us now to report that Chicago-based travel agency Yams Global Travel LLC is seeking to expand its services to the Guyanese market. Here are the details.
Chief Executive Officer of Yams Global Travel, Yamoni Barburo, told the Evening News that just as she markets other countries to tourists, she wants to do the same for her home country, Guyana. The certified travel specialist says she is mainly looking to educate persons on how they can travel to Guyana and what adventures await them.
You work with a travel advisor. They get you your transportation from the airport to your hotel. They book your hotel, and then they book your tour. So they take care of you from door to door. When you get done with your tour, you go back to your hotel, and then you're transferred back to the airport. So it's fairly safe to travel when you book with a travel advisor because they know the area they sell. And currently I sell the Galapagos Island, I sell Peru, Machu Picchu, Lima, and I do Bolivia for South America, and I really want to get into the Guyanese market now.
She shared that when coming to Guyana, she would usually visit the popular tourist destinations such as the Kaicher and Oranduke Falls before leaving. However, she added, there is so much more to be explored in the interior regions of Guyana. According to Barburo, her interest in Guyana started when she attended the 2019 Adventure Travel World Summit, which is hosted annually by the Adventure Travel Trade Association.
Every year, the ATTA has a conference worldwide. That year, it was in Sweden, and I went to that. Last October, it was in Switzerland, but I didn't see Guyana represented in Switzerland, but they were in Sweden. And that's where Tony was presenting from Wilderness Explorer. My interest grew in Guyana from that, after I saw that event in Sweden with Guyana being represented there.
Yams Global Travel LLC was founded in 2014 by Barburo, who has traveled to over 70 countries across the world and has first-hand experience of what she offers to customers. Additionally, the CEO has received numerous certifications for destination training and Travel Leader Certified Travel Specialist destinations. Her training and travel gives her first-hand knowledge to customize and book your trips. Tasia Dickinson for the Evening News.
Coming up, women in business on full display at annual pop-up shop and legal changes among anti-money laundering strategies in Guyana's 5-year plan. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Play and win with Superbet. Visit an agent near you to play all your favorite games. Superbet, your best bet. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Scores of women-owned businesses are currently on full display at the annual pop-up shop organized by Guyanese entrepreneur and fashion designer Sonia Noel. Tasia Dickinson visited the booths at the Tower Suites today and filed this report.
Several entrepreneurs have gathered their best products to display at a pop-up shop hosted by Miss Sonia Noel at the Tower Hotel. The pop-up shop gives these women exposure to reach and connect with new customers and showcase the products offered by their businesses.
We stock a wide range of hair accessories in both wholesale and retail quantities for ladies and children. This is well known by a lot of women. The bonnets, the elastic bonnets. We have the bonnets in the elastic side, the elastic style, as well as the tied bonnets, which is what we have here on the mannequin. It can be worn on either side. We also have the headband and scrunchie set, as well as scrunchies in both regular size and jumbo for persons who, let's say for example, have braids or locks. We have the jumbo size scrunchies. And apart from that, we also stock headbands in a wide variety of styles, such as the bun wrap, twist front, the braided, and we also have the bows for the little children. For persons who are watching and wondering how they can reach us, we can be contacted on telephone number 671-2352, or you can check out our Facebook page. It's Simply Stunning. And just in case you're also wondering if you can purchase in both retail and wholesale quantity, yes, you can. Given the fact that my business is online based, I do look forward to events like this because it gives me the opportunity to connect with my customers face to face, and it also puts me in a good place to meet with sponsors and even new customers and clients.
I have a passion for candle making and craft, and I venture in this candle making because I see it's a proper business. Now, before time people never used to gravitate on candles, but it is a part of life spiritually, mentally and physically, because it helps you to rebuild your spirit. When you clean your home and you light a candle, it gives you a different spirit. These are all my products. I'm a processor and also does coconut oils and pepper sauce. Now you can find me on 693-1556, and my product is at the Guyana shop.
Alice is a very skilled artist. She's an alum of Burroughs School of Arts and the University of Guyana. She can work with any kind of medium, including like here, acrylic paint. She can do pencil drawings with color pencils, charcoal. She does leather work as well. Some of the pieces displayed here, she handcrafted these and hand painted these bags with various tourist attractions and various symbols. Yes, any kind of medium and any kind of material she can work with. That series is about, basically, it includes 7 paintings, and each painting represents an orisha. And so her goal is to encourage young people to find pride and their identity through African spirituality.
Meanwhile, Noel shared that due to travel commitments, she was unable to have an expo this year. However, due to many requests from business owners, she decided to do the pop-up shop. She added that many businesses that were a part of her organization when she first started has seen tremendous growth and have ventured off into doing their own expos and events.
We are looking forward to a really grand 1 week. Because, expo used to be like the weekend. So people don't have no excuse now. You have during the week where you can leave work and come, and you have the weekend if that is your option. So we are inviting people to come down at the Tower Suites here for a number of business goods and services, and it's a real way, a tangible way to say I am supporting women. A lot of those businesses have gone on to employ people, have had just one product and now have close to 30 products in different supermarkets. So we would have seen tremendous growth from those exhibitors. And a lot of them came in shy, even not introducing themselves was a problem. So now when I look at those women having interviews and interacting with people, it's like, you know, when you have a child and you look and say, oh my God, my child is growing, or my child has grown and I'm so proud of them, that is the way I feel.
The pop-up shop will conclude on March 18th. It opens from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tasia Dickinson for the Evening News.
Women's rights are being fought for all over the world, and in Guyana, great strides have been made to ensure that women have equal access to opportunities. While addressing the two-day inaugural Women in Law Enforcement Summit on Thursday, Governance and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Gail Teixeira said that even though Guyana has made a lot of achievements in this regard, women are still not able to access opportunities equal to what their counterparts access. Fiona Morrison tells us more.
As the achievements of women are being celebrated in recognition of the International Women's Day, Minister of Governance Gail Teixeira cautioned against overlooking that women across the globe are still faced with terrible conditions.
But we also have to remember, as we celebrate, that there are parts of the world where women face terrible conditions, women and children. And those are countries we see on the television in terms of climate disasters, natural disasters, and the most recent, of course, when you see Turkey and Syria, the cyclones and storms in different parts of Mozambique, etc., and Asia, where people's poor conditions are made worse, and where women and children are the greatest victims. The countries where there's war, civil war, where there are groups that are terrorist groups or funded terrorist groups who capture girls and schoolgirls and take them to become wives or terrorists themselves. We see this in the world. We see also in the developed world reversals. And let us talk about it, whether you're religious or not, whether you agree with it or not. One of the critical issues for women's rights is our right to choose. Choose the man we want, or choose the woman we want. Choose not to have a man at all. Those are our choices. We want to have children, we don't want to have children. We want to have space for children. These are our rights to choose. And so when you have a major reversal in the United States, of the reversal of the Roe versus Wade, in terms of women's right to choose and access to reproductive health services, so that you can make your choices.
Regardless of a person's age, ethnicity, geographic location, gender, or social class, Minister Teixeira reminded that everyone is equal under the Constitution of Guyana.
The Constitution makes us all equal. What is equity? Equity has to do with the fact that although we're equal, we can't reach the same heights, we can't reach the same services because of a number of societal or economic or other impediments. And so the issue of affirmative action, targeted action, to make sure that people have equitable access to the same thing, so that our equality is not a constitutional issue, but in fact a right that is implementable, achievable.
According to the veteran politician, without human rights and democracy, there can be no development, and women are the greatest sufferers when these are missing. The two-day summit is being held at the Police Officers Mess Annex, Evelary, Georgetown, under the theme Embrace Equity, and will conclude on Friday, March 10th. Fiona Morrison, The Evening News.
The Foreign Affairs Minister of Guatemala, Mario Adolfo Bucaro Flores, will be leading a delegation to Georgetown later this month to further collaborate with the Guyana government in a number of areas, including agriculture. Find out more in this Vanu Manikchand report.
On Wednesday, Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister Hugh Todd and his Guatemalan counterpart, Mario Adolfo Bucaro Flores, engaged in a teleconference to discuss regional and hemispheric priorities. Following the meeting, Minister Todd told this newscast that the engagement was a follow-up to the initiatives that the two governments have agreed on working together on. These, he noted, include agriculture and the establishment of a Guatemalan embassy in Georgetown. According to Todd, Minister Flores and his team are expected sometime this month. He explained that the Guatemalan officials have gone a far way with respect to the establishment of their diplomatic office here. In the area of agriculture, Minister Todd said the Guatemalan team will comprise of officials who will be looking at the sector broadly before narrowing down the areas for potential collaboration, and this includes sugar. During a press conference back in January, President Dr. Irfaan Ali had disclosed that Guatemala is among several countries that are interested in helping Guyana to return its sugar industry to profitability. Guatemala is the second largest exporter of sugar in Latin America and the fifth largest exporter in the world. With Guatemala being a sugar producer in its own right, it can provide technical expertise to Gaisuku. Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchand.
Legislative amendments to the existing anti-money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism laws are among the government's strategies to tackle money laundering. Those amendments are laid out in government's 5-year plan. Gerald Bryan reports.
The government's anti-money laundering strategies are laid out in their 5-year plan, which was released by the Attorney General's chambers. According to the strategy, laws and regulations will be developed and revised during that time in line with international standards. While there are existing AML-CFT laws, more can be done to strengthen or clarify the legislative framework. The deadline given to complete the updates and revisions to this legal framework is by the 4th quarter of 2025. Agencies that fall under the AML-CFT framework, such as the Financial Intelligence Unit (FIU) and the prosecutorial arms of the state, will also be strengthened. Work will also be done to enhance regional and international cooperation to effectively tackle international threats. Another key plank in the anti-money laundering fight is to ensure training is done with all authorities and stakeholders. Only last year, Guyana passed amendments to the AML bill in the National Assembly to ensure that Guyana's FIU can join the Egmont Group. The Egmont Group is an international organization bringing together FIUs from around the world. Through collaboration, these jurisdictions are better able to counter international money laundering threats. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, March 10th at 4:15 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, March 10th at 5:55 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
Lack of football venues, the problem and solutions, and cricket brings all Guyanese together, says Reds Pereira. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets, and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons, and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves, and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Poultry farmers, save money by cutting down the time it takes to pluck your chickens with the plucking machine from Sylvie's. Now available at affordable prices in 3 sizes: 500, 550 and 600 mm, 110 220 volts, 60 cycles, 1450 RPM. Replacement motors and the plucking fingers are also readily available right now at Sylvie's Variety Store, High and Hatfield Streets, Georgetown.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips,
Sadco,
Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.